Did you get
so
the side
cute.
over here too?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to make something that was kind of Latin, Mexico, Peru, southwestern-ish, and I had no idea what it was going to look like. But I started with an ammo box. This is a big ammo box I bought at the Army store, and this is the lid. And when I first started making it, I thought I would make one out here, and then I would take the lid and I would put it back here to make a backdrop for this scenery. I wanted to make kind of a diorama thing. And so I started putting it together, and it just kept falling apart, falling down. I thought, that is so stupid. So I put it away for about 2 months. And then I brought it back out again, and I realized I don't need a lid back here. I just need one here. And it's so interesting how if I just put something away for a couple months, then my brain works on it and fixes the problem, whatever it is. So I started with the ammo box, and then I wanted it to look... It's kind of funny, like Zorro. So, the movie Zorro and all this, the amazing architecture in that movie. So that's why I made this stuff back here in the back.
These arches.
Yeah, that's why I made the arches in the back, and the palisades, I guess, the corridors and things. And I used, you want to see what I used?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, I used this. This was a spice rack where you have 4, you have 4 of these. Do you know, have you ever seen one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like this, and they have a base, which is kind of like this. So it's sitting on a base on the bottom and top, and it also spins. Anyway, so you stick your spices in there. So I just cut it off. I cut it in half. And I used half of it there, and then I used the other half over there, yeah. And the things in between are these Jenga blocks. Or something like them for the columns. And then these right here are checkers. Either red or black checkers.
Oh, that's funny. You just like to take apart those games, don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're wooden, and I like wood the best. And these back here, these were some coaster cases, I guess. These 2 things, that one and that one. You just sit your coasters in them, and they slide in the slots. And then this back here, this is a cup, and let's see, toothbrush holder bathroom fixture. And I just cut that in half to make the arch there in the little holes. I think that's very fun. Yeah, that's the other half. Yep. I use a lot of blocks. Let's see, here's my box of stuff. So we'll just go around here, I guess, and
find where I used the blocks.
Right there, that's this block right here. And I rounded the corners to make it softer. And I don't have any more of these. This is an arch for the block. Oh yeah, this is tiny. I used all my arches apparently, so it's just like this. You know, that's obvious. And I used a triangle block for that. And I had to make it, sometimes I will sand some of it off because this is more narrow than this one. Because it needed to be more narrow, so it looked better. And I just rounded off the edges. There's a block, that's another one like this. I just glued it down. And this door came off of a chest, little wooden chest that had hinges on it. So that's why it's so ornate. I did not carve it. It came like that. These blocks are these, actually something like that. That's this type of block. And then again, I used those rectangular prisms. And I used apparently all of my round columns because I have no more. And that is just a smaller block I cut in half to make these two. Then I painted them this awesome color. So that's how I use the blocks. And then back over here, well, I'll just show you these tile looking things. Those were pretty fun to make. I just used block like this. And I used blocks like this. And I cut them in half. Probably cut it in thirds, but I don't know. I'm lucky I didn't cut my fingers off. But anyway, so that's the tile. And I learned how to tile myself by using blocks and polydrons and tiled my bathroom just by playing with blocks. It's very fun. So that's where I use my blocks.
Similar though.
It's not the same, but yeah, this balcony is really cool. It was made with handles. These are two identical handles from something, I don't know what. And then I had this art already. This one back here.
The orange one?
Yeah, the orangish one. That's the coral color, I guess. I love this color. This color I got from Zorro. I love their coral color. So I used that as the art, and then this fit exactly on the art. I did not cut it at all. This was a tambourine, so this is half of a tambourine. And then down here, you saw the blocks, and then this was a curio, or you know, I don't know what to call it, a shelf that you put on the wall. It's this whole thing. It comes up here. It comes up all the way over here. That stair was already made. I didn't make it. I just used it. I don't make anything, hardly, except a few gears. So I made that. I mean, I didn't make it. I put that in. That's awesome. So now you're in the house. I have little tile pieces here. Again, I love the little stoves in southwestern homes, Mexico, whatever. And this just happened to be... This is a nutcracker. And you put the nut in there, and then you screw it down, like this one. I have a couple of these, but I don't have any more like that potbelly stove one. So you just, it's two pieces, it screws out like this. I don't know who makes these, but they're kind of awesome. I don't know if anyone uses them. I found them at DI, so apparently somebody wasn't using them. So you put your nut in here, and then you just screw it down till it cracks. I think they're pretty cool, and I've used them for several things, like a periscope in a ship, and potbelly stove, or a an earthen stove, I suppose. Anyway, so that's that. And I just put this little box back here. Things just fit. It's almost like a little dollhouse. So that's just a nativity I made from shells from Rhode Island, and I just stuck it in there. I haven't taken it out yet.
It's cute.
Anyway, I'll just take that out. I got these from Ecuador. I'll just take these out too. These are my nativity from Ecuador. They just stay in there all the time.
Did you make this?
No, I don't make anything, I tell you. That is just a shell doily. That'd probably be a coaster for this. And that's my little fountain. This is what I used. And I don't have another one of these, but this was a bowl. This hat says Hawaii on it. Somewhere it says Hawaii.
Right there.
Right there. So that bowl's from Hawaii. It ended up at DI too. And then I stuck a wooden spool in there. And then this little bowl is on top of that. And then this is a nutcracker. That's the top of a nutcracker bowl. You put little toothpicks in here, I think, and then you put the nut picks in there. It probably came with the nutcracker. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. That's that. I don't know what this is. I think it's a candle holder, but it looked like pottery
vase.
And this I found just like that. It's really cool looking. And this too. So I just put them in here. This used to have cactuses in it. Little tiny cacti. Cacti all over the place. It was so cute. I have photos of that. This great big arch. That's a rolling pin.
That's awesome.
And this, it looks like a letter holder because it's flat, like it's supposed to hook on the wall, and then it's got these little slots in it. So it's upside down, turn it upside down, stick it on the wall, and then you just put your letters that came in the mail that day. Put all your junk mail in here because that's all that comes in the mail anymore. This arch was a clock, and these were it looked like that. These were all together. I still have the other half of it. I cut it in half for a ship, or like the bow of a ship. And these were from a mouse. Mouse's arms is what they are. Not that it matters, but there was a little
crafty mouse.
Yeah, a crafty mouse, and I just used those arms. But the reason I put this arch here is because in Ecuador, we went down the hill from our apartment, and there was a ruin of a guard house. It looked out all over this huge valley. And this guard house had the arch left standing and then part of the walls. And the arches back in the colonial periods in Mexico and Central and South America, everywhere that the Spaniards were, they built these arches that were tall enough for a horse with a man riding on top. So they're really tall arches. And that's why I put this in here, because I mean arches are all over in that type of architecture, but that's why they're so tall. So I just thought that was cool. Let's go to here. Just kind of see all of this together. Yeah, if you back up, you will see that this. What does this look like? It represents a
mountain range or something? No? Try again.
All right, I'll tell you. It's a city. This is what a city would look like.
Right.
And I made it from one of those trays that they're folded up, and then you unfold them, and they have a tray here, and then they have trays here with little place to put your cup and other things. I trimmed it down a little bit to follow these curves of the tray.
All right, but it does
Yeah.
look like a little city on a hill.
Yeah, now that you know, right? Okay, and this is of course a church bell, of course, and it's got these like bird guano on top, so it looks realistic.
It's funny.
So you have the city here, and then when you back up, you can see like the pueblo here. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly what these sides are. It was a shelf that had these pieces right here. These pieces were the let's see how this works. Da, 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 da. These pieces right here, they were across here. So this was another shelf just like that. And it's the one you just stick on your shelf, and you have all these shelves. Hold that right there. Yeah, so you have little steps. Just like this down here. That's what that is. Except it goes this way, where the brown's out. So it reminded me of Ecuador and other places, of course, like a little pueblo, but it reminded me of when we pulled in to an apartment building. We pulled up on top, went down the hill to each of the homes. And in the U.S., it seems like you park at the bottom and then you go up. But they didn't even have a road at the bottom of the apartment buildings or houses. They were hooked together like this, but you walked down to them, and there was no road to them. And a lot of people in Ecuador and other Latin American countries do not have cars anyway. So they would come here, they'd walk from the bus, or they'd be dropped off by a taxi or a friend or whatever, and then they'd walk down to their house. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And these, I just drilled a window in them. I cut these doors out, and then I made them skinny so they didn't look like these big fat doors. And I didn't want to put hinges on them, so I just glued them in. And these are those wooden plugs. When you drill a hole, you just plug them with a wooden plug to cover the screw. So anyway, I thought that was awesome. And these things on the side, I don't remember. They're a little pegboard. And I turned these upside down. I turned these. They didn't come out straight. Like a lot of these roofs are just a piece of wood. A piece of tree. A tree, like a log, of course, goes on the top, like over here. These are actually... What are these? These are sticks. These are logs right here. These logs up here, they are actually a log. They're just small logs. They're a stick.
Tree.
Yeah. The thing that this does for me, it gives me a certain feeling. The feeling I get when... It's the feeling, it brings me the same feeling looking at this that I get when I'm on some street in some Latin American country looking at the architecture. It just brings back all those memories.
I love this little guy back here.
Oh, did you see him through there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's on this side?
This is cool.
Oh, it's on the other side. Anne-Marie gave that to me. They went to Anasazi. They went to Mesa Verde. They ain't got that. I was gonna say something about people give me stuff. That's good stuff. What the heck? My son Carl carved this, and it's very appropriate. I just haven't put it on here yet. I put it over here, and no, it looks like a giant vulture. It doesn't exactly go here. Oh, it could go over there, but this is where it's going to go eventually. Very appropriate. Okay, so this right here, a friend of mine, Anne-Marie, gave this to me. Oh, it was 18 bucks. It's from Mesa Verde. She thought that I could make better use of it than her. But I've been to Mesa Verde several times. So this is one of my favorite sides. I don't know if I will dare ask you what you think it is. What do you think it represents?
Is it a castle or a temple thing that they have?
Yeah, it just
Or a
reminds me of
dungeon.
their cathedrals. Yeah, I suppose it could be.
Could it be both?
It could be something like that.
Okay, so what does it remind you of?
It's a cathedral. It does look like a castle, huh? But cathedral doors, because here they look like this when I bought them, and it had the little candle stick holder on it right there, and so I just cut off the top and turned it upside down. Yeah, and I put them right here. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it is cool.
And this door, this is what it is. It was this, and I made two of them. And I I cut off some of it so they could go together. And then I just put these pieces of wood across. But you see these big, huge, tall doors on buildings, but they rarely open them, even if they might even be false doors. But I cut this door out of it because the people usually have a little door to go in. And this is not a little door, this is just a regular size door. But if you look, the awesome thing about this piece is you can look through this door, and you can look, like you're looking into or out of the church back into the plaza. The plaza.
Right, that's cool. There'd be lots of people selling little items, right?
Lots. Lots of people selling lots of stuff. They know how to do it too. And we buy it. So then up here, it's just, just represents the buildings of the town. And the foliage that grows all over in those countries. Green all year. Ecuador was so green when we flew into Salt Lake in August. And it was culture shock because it was so just dead. Everything was dead all over. And we came from Ecuador, which is green all the time. They do have their dry seasons and they do have deserts, but I realized for the first time, oh, that's why they make mountains brown on maps. So brown. The mountains, I suppose, in Ecuador are brown too, but the foliage in the cities are amazing. This piece right here is, if anyone has seen my other videos, that is on one of my instrument pieces. I think it's my other one. Not the one called mine, but the other one.
I called it awesome.
Awesome. So, but this was a wing of a swan. And there was a swan's
So a
head.
swan this way.
Yeah, well, the swan's head was up here, and this was a wing, and the other one was a wing. I just cut it like this and made it round. I don't know. You might recognize that. And then just put this little shelf here. Cute little shelf. And this is hilarious to me. I just found this little little outhouse. So I put it on here. It's a little 2-seater. Yeah, and in Ecuador you can't, well, you can. You're not supposed to flush the toilet paper. You're supposed to throw it in the garbage. Which I did. I was really good about that. But it was really hard to find a bathroom there. They didn't have a bathroom at every store and every gas station. And sometimes their bathrooms were used for storage instead. And sometimes they had bathrooms, but the little kids just went around to the back and used just did it right on the ground instead of in the toilet. It's kind of interesting. Because that's what they did at home. I think that's enough. So if you lasted through this hour-long description of this piece of art, by the way, I call it Santa Fe for various reasons. Can you guess? You know, maybe it took you back there too, whoever you are. So, and as we say in Ecuador, ciao.